Proposing to Kay was one of the most nerve-wracking things I've ever done before today. I did manage to spot a secluded bench in Lockram Island overlooking Dubrovnik, so I hastily marched ahead to make sure I nabbed it before anyone else. Once sat on the bench, it was that opportune moment. This was it. The nerves took hold. I fumbled to get the ring out of my pocket, bottled it and uttered the words, "I love you, you know." Jumped off the bench to get down on one knee, decided to use the knee that I'd just had reconstructive surgery on 6 months prior. Instant pain, shot up, kicked Kay's handbag right to the edge of the drop-off, stroke mild cliff. Swapped knees, popped the question. Kay said yes, and the ring went on. When I was writing this speech, I was actually racking my brain on how to start, and it felt appropriate to start with the first time I met Kay. I say met loosely, but that will become apparent. I was walking into work one morning, half asleep, as I'm not really a morning person, and my much needed dose of caffeine was waiting for me in the office kitchenette. Walking through reception, I was greeted by what sounded like, to me, an incredibly well-spoken girl. I've tried getting the impression right, but my dulcet tones do impede me. Good morning, good morning. It was a very emphasised latter G, and it particularly resonated. I thought she had elocution lessons, unlike me. Turns out she's just from Worthing, which is down south, so, you know, in a northern seaside town, it's like having Joanna Lumley in residence. Anyway, I look up and I see Kay, as beautiful then as she is now, utterly beautiful. And I did my best to play it cool, and I'm trying to do that now. But for me, it just means not tripping over my own feet or letting my voice break mid-retort. I think I got away with it. Through reception with success, I belted upstairs to join my colleagues, Mark being one of them at the time, and I couldn't wait to tell them how the new, gorgeous, posh receptionist definitely fancies me. Turns out Kay said good morning to them in the same way too, and every other person in the building. And at the time, Payment Shield was 300 staff strong. One morning, I actually witnessed it in action whilst walking through reception and a gaggle of people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. But many, many years later, I think I've proved them all right, haven't I? And you're contractually obliged to love me now.
I mean, who wouldn't welcome someone with an engine hoist into their family? I mean, oh, and he likes craft beers and ales. Great, another tick. Wow, this is superb. What sort of music does he like? 90s jungle? Oh, well, I thought, we'll keep him away from any playlists and we'll be fine. But actually, to be fair to Rory, it turns out he has a really eclectic taste in music. But anyway, more seriously, what really matters is that he's the right person for Kay. And over the past few years, we've got to know Rory really well, and we're delighted to welcome him into our family with much love. As a youngster, Kay did have a bit of a reputation for being clumsy. In fact, she could bump into pretty much anything, and she could even fall over if there was nothing there to bump into. So given that background, needless to say, I was a little nervous walking her down the aisle, and I've already had a bit of instant feedback. I looked really nervous, apparently. But gosh, I needn't have worried. I'm sure you will all agree with me, she looked both beautiful and graceful as she came in.
Marriage is about giving and taking, and forging and forsaking, kissing and loving and pushing and shoving, caring and sharing and screaming and swearing. About being together, whatever the weather, about being driven to the end of your tether. about sweetness and kindness and wisdom and blindness. It's about being strong when you're feeling quite weak. It's about saying nothing when you're dying to speak. It's about being wrong when you know you are right. It's about giving in before there's a fight. Never heeding advice that was always well meant. Never counting the cost until it's all spent. And for you two today, it's about to begin. And for all that the two of you had to put in, some days are filled with joy and some are with sadness. Too late you'll discover that marriage is madness.
Kay Louise, shortly to be Moncrief, you are the person who truly makes me happy, calms me, supports me and completes me. I admire your intellect. I'm always stunned by your beauty, especially today. You always think the best of people, even when they're not worthy. And I adore your goofy antics such as silly dancing, singing the wrong lyrics and hiding around the house. I feel we have already built a great life together, but really, we've only just gotten started. There's no doubt the future holds plenty for us, and as your husband, I will do everything in my being to help you accomplish anything and everything you want in life.
I'm gonna start with something that probably is the best man I probably shouldn't say, but Kay, I absolutely admire you for actually going through with today. You're so supportive to Rory in what is not a traditional relationship. There's Kay, Rory, and the caterum. So you've seen, obviously, we all know how Rory feels about that caterum. You've seen it here today. And Rory, Google search history. You know, you can't legally marry a car. Obviously, he's done his best bringing it today. It's out there, loud and proud. And yesterday, I was looking forward to a bit of lights together time, travel down together. Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
You're my best friend, my biggest supporter, the person that makes me laugh the hardest, and who makes me feel I can truly be myself, however dorky that person is. Thank you for being you and for loving every part of me, even when I make it challenging. As your wife, I promise to be your biggest cheerleader and celebrate the great days with you, no matter how big or small. When you've got the job, you've found your new favourite pale ale, or you've smashed your best track time. More importantly, I promise to be by your side on the bad days, when the catering's fallen apart, when you've burnt the roast dinner and you've forgotten to pay the Merseyflow toll. I promise to make time for you even when there seems no time to spare, to give you advice when you need it and just to listen when you don't. I'll try my hardest to be patient on those days when you're being unreasonable. When you've made the house a mess or you've forgotten to put the bins out for another week.
An excerpt from Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I know that love can be loud and jubilant. It can be dancing and shouting, "You are amazing," over the band. It's introducing them to your colleagues at work and basking in pride as they make people laugh. It's laughing until you wheeze. It's walking along the street together on a Saturday night and feeling an entire city is yours. It's a big, beautiful force of nature. I also know that love is a pretty quiet thing. It's lying on the sofa together drinking coffee, talking about where you're going to go that morning to drink more coffee. It's hanging up their laundry when they leave the house, having moronically forgotten to take it out of the washing machine. It's saying, "You're safer here than in a car," as they hyperventilate on an EasyJet flight to Dublin. It's the text, "Hope your day goes well. How did it go today? Thinking of you. Picked up loo roll." I know that love happens under the splendour of the moon and stars and fireworks and sunsets. But it also happens when you're lying on a blow-up airbed, sitting in A&E, in the queue for a passport or in a traffic jam. Love is a quiet, reassuring, relaxing, pottering, pedantic, harmonious hum of a thing. Something you can easily forget is there, even though its palms are outstretched beneath you in case you fall.
I give you this ring
as the gift of our marriage,
as the gift of our marriage,
as a symbol of hope for our future together,
as a symbol of hope for our future together,
and of my everlasting love.
and of my everlasting love.
I give you this ring
As the gift of our marriage,
as the gift of our marriage,
as a symbol of hope for our future together,
as a symbol of hope for our future together,
and of my everlasting love.
and of my
Lasting.
lasting love.
I believe you.
Kay and Rory, you have both made all the declarations required by law, and you have made a solemn and binding contract with each other in the presence of your guests and witnesses here today. It now gives me very great pleasure to pronounce that you are married, and you may kiss the bride.
So it is traditional for me to draw this speech to an end with some words of wisdom for the happy couple. But actually, as we were sat there earlier, listening to the vows that Kay and Rory pledged to one another, I felt they captured beautifully the commitments they have made, and there's little I can add to those heartfelt resolutions. So instead, just a couple of observations. Firstly, this is really important, don't cancel the Netflix subscription. That seems to be the core of the relationship. Okay, don't worry. Nobody understands the Matrix. And Rory, be really careful promising not to look at your phone when Kay is speaking. That can be really tricky to get. Will it last the evening? And then finally, and I think I speak on behalf of the whole room when I say this, we are all really looking forward to seeing the goofy dancing.
Everything we've talked about today, the vows, it's just been a completely perfect day. You'll make an absolutely amazing husband. Everything you do, Mr. Organised. We joke about the opinions and how organised and the fact there's a plan. Obviously, Kay's got a better list than your list, it seems. But you are, if you want someone solid, reliable in your corner, you're the guy. So you're in a good place, Kay. I can't imagine a couple more ready, more right for marriage. Literally, Kay, you are perfect, absolutely perfect for Rory. I can't imagine a better bride. So thank you for bringing Rory so much happiness. I will say though, to achieve ultimate happiness for Rory, there is something still outstanding, and it's linked back to that catering. He needs a double garage.
When you succeed, I will celebrate your triumphs, and when you need encouragement, I'll be right beside you, cheering you on. When times are not so kind to us, I'll be there to support you and care for you no matter what is thrown at us. But here is the fine print, and my commitment I make to you here in front of those closest to us. I will load and unload the dishwasher more often. I will try my very best to put things back where they belong after using them. I promise not to look at my phone when you're talking to me. But most of all, I will never stop loving you more than anything on this earth. I look forward to sharing countless more adventures, laughs, frustrations and Netflix series with you as we continue our journey through time together. I love you, Kay Louise Moncrief. I vow to be the man you inspire me to be and the man you deserve.
I promise to take interest in the things you enjoy, to watch The Matrix, even though I don't understand it, to party into the early hours, to get in the cater room again despite the nightmare journey to Devon, and to do what we do best, to laugh and be silly till we're old and grey. As we start our next chapter together, I can't wait for all the memories yet to come. I love you with all my heart, and I vow to use all my energy to make you happy and to be the best wife I can be.